My name is Lauren Windle, and this is the Good Pod Guide, the podcast that points you in the direction of other podcasts you might enjoy, thus saving you time, research, and brain power. Don't know if I've told you guys, but I have won the lottery. I won when I was 19, so years ago now, and I probably only bought 10 tickets before that. You could start playing the lottery at 16 and I was 19. So over the course of 3 years, I bought, about 10 tickets. And then that was it. And I just won. I won 60 quid. And that is just a phenomenal return on my £10 investment. And I decided right then and there that was it. I was going to cut my losses and I never played the lottery again. So, when it comes to the lottery, complete it, mate. And not many people walk away up when it comes to the lottery. So really impressed with myself for that. Now, I can see that some people would want to keep going to shoot for the bigger jackpots, and that's fine. I hear you. And actually, the accumulation of wealth is the subject of today's podcast. Today, we're talking about stacking Benjamins. It is a finance podcast that tackles topics for regular people, so not big bucks business. It's things like how to invest, how to pay off debt, and general money saving tips. This is hosted by former financial advisor Joe Saul-Say and certified financial planner Josh Bannerman, with expert guests joining them to shed light on sort of niche topics. A really nice quote that I liked, albeit a little bit obvious, was this one from the podcast. You might not be born super rich. You might have to work hard to get where you want to be. And success isn't just handed to you. Sadly, there's rarely a shortcut, and usually success is paved by hard work. Now, that is rich coming from someone who's won the lottery, I know. But I do think that 9 times out of 10, or maybe more frequently, that is the way that people make money. There's also an episode on misconceptions about work, and they had a guest on, Ashley Goodall, who gave some amazing advice. She was saying that often the way that we excel in and enjoy our careers is to focus more on what we do well rather than focusing on trying to fix mistakes. So she said people need to spend less time trying to improve at things they're incompetent at and to become competent in them, and instead spend more time finding those things that they are good at. If you're really trying to get excellence, you don't spend time trying to be mediocre. Delegate away the mediocre stuff and focus on honing the things that you really rock at. Now, I wouldn't have said really rock at because that's not really my vocab, but I really like the sentiment behind that. And since I heard it, I've been replaying it in my head and thinking it through a lot, which is why I know it's probably pretty good. There's also a great interview with New York Times bestselling author Austin Kleon, who talks about creatives and turning their hobbies into careers, which as a creative, I've got a lot of time for. It's released 3 times a week, so there's bloody loads of it. And each episode is an hour to an hour and a half. They describe this podcast as a great balance of fun and functional. And I think that they have got that balance right. It's not heavy to listen to. It also encourages safe, reliable investments that set you up for retirement, which sounds boring. It's not exactly the same as like putting it all on red, but actually that's the kind of advice and direction that we really need. In the next episode, I run through some of the alternative titles for my book that the publisher rejected. I don't know if I have mentioned that I wrote a book, but I also review podcast Why Won't You Date Me? More info is available in the show notes, and if you've enjoyed what you've heard, like, subscribe, and leave a positive review. We would really appreciate it.